Hey y'all, it's Serenity. Welcome back to another video. So guys, I have literally been dying to create this video. When I say I have literally been obsessed with this year's season of Love Island, I mean it. Like, I'm someone who has been watching and following Love Island for many years, mostly the UK version. I didn't really watch too many seasons of Love Island USA, but when I heard the entire internet literally gagging over this year's season, I was like, you already know I have to check it out. So what did I do? I watched that thing, and I watched it through and through. I mean, every single After Sun episode. I watched the reunion. Yep, I was there for that hot mess. And now I am going to rank the couplings. So I have my notes, and actually, let me show you guys these notes because I went in. You see that? That's my individual handwriting, and I spent like maybe 2 hours on these notes. So this video is going to be very thorough. So right now I'm just going to go head over to the tier, and we're going to rank these couples. So what is this called? Tier list maker. Here we go. Okay guys, so the very first tier that we're going to be making, we're going to start from the bottom and then go to the top. The bottom being, this is absolutely the worst couple on the show, all the way to the top, this is the best. So we're going to label the bottom tier as diabolical! Exclamation point. Okay, and then the second tier is going to be labeled spare me. You guys know, the girls who get it, the girls who don't. Sorry. And then the next ranking is going to be called, gotta go over to my emojis, my emoticons. We're gonna call this one couples therapy, because these couples need therapy in order to work, and that's the only way that it's going to actually work. Okay, and then next we're gonna label this Romeo and Juliet. All right, Romeo and Julieta. Okay, this is going to bother me that this is like off to the side. Can we not, like, let's retype that. Romeo and Julieta. Oh my, Romeo. Okay, there we go. And then, what the? Top tier is going to be the best to ever do it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in order of the couples on here. Maybe not. We're gonna have fun with it. Let's see. Okay, y'all, so we are going to start this off with a very interesting duo, Liv and Hakeem. So what I put for Liv and Hakeem was, they were cute, like, but I'm kind of confused where it went wrong. Like, 1 second Liv and Hakeem were like all cute, cuddly, they were like kissing in bed, like feeling each other. It looked like Liv really liked him, Hakeem really liked Liv, and then next thing you know, they were like toxic couple. Like, when I say they were quite literally like they hated each other's guts, I was so confused where it went wrong. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say that they needed couples therapy. And I think that the relationship could work out if they were going to go to couples therapy, because honestly, this was Liv's best coupling in the entire show of every single couple she was with. I think she was best paired with Hakeem, and she kind of just met her maker, her match, and they like butted heads, and that's what went wrong. So yeah, I'm just gonna say they need couples therapy, but their chemistry was definitely there. So we're just gonna go ahead and put them into the couples therapy category. Next, we have Liv and Rob. So Liv and Rob, I'm gonna put them in the spare me category because I did not like these two together. Honestly, it seemed like Liv only got with Rob because she really didn't know who else to choose, and the reasoning here didn't make any sense to me. Honestly, I think she kind of did Leah dirty, in my opinion. I don't know. She was also kind of like secretly throwing shots at Leah the whole show. But I'm gonna keep that to myself. Like, I love Liv, but I don't know. She was just giving like she just hated Leah's guts from the beginning, and that's the reason why she took her man. So I'm gonna put this coupling, Liv and Rob, in the spare me category. Okay, next on the list, we're gonna go for JaNa and Kenny. 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 Kenny.
Jet services.
Kenny.
All right, last but not least, Kenny. Yo, brace yourself.
I love Kenny. Kenny. Guys, by the way, my man's name is Ken, so I just thought that was so cute that she said Kenny, and I might low-key steal that. So JaNa and Kenny, these two were so incredibly cute. I think they won over everyone. I was honestly so surprised that they didn't come in second place, and it was Leah and Miguel, but we'll talk about that later. At first, it seemed like Kenny came into the villa with a plan. Like, I don't know. This is just how I was seeing it when I was watching the show. It seemed like he came into the villa with a plan to, like, finally save JaNa because she was experiencing a lot of heartache and all the couplings that she was in. The men were kind of dogging her out, doing her dirty. And I think he was, you know, because people can watch the show. Like, the show is live, yo. So when these people, these bombshells come into the villa, they are watching and following along with the show. They know who to go after. They know who is, like, catching their eye, whatever. And so people can come into the villa with kind of like a game mindset, very malicious intent sometimes, not really in it for the most genuine reasons. And at first I thought Kenny was one of these people, maybe like trying to get with JaNa just to win over the public and ultimately win the entire show with her. However, he did prove me wrong, and he did eventually show that he really did genuinely care for JaNa and truly saw her worth, unlike all the other guys she was with, because JaNa is literally stunning. She's literally such a catch. She's so classy, like beautiful. Come on, let's talk about her face card. Like, her face card eats every single time. Like, in fact, every single last one of the girls on this season's face card ate every single time they were on screen. Even when they were crying, sobbing in the trenches. Like, I could never, y'all. I could literally never look so good while bawling my eyes out. And every single last one of the girls did. So, superpower, honestly. And then when Kenny came back from the recoupling, the Casa recoupling, he seemed to almost just follow some sort of like unspoken pact that the boys thought would be cute or like for TV entertainment or whatever. I really don't know, because I low-key have a little conspiracy theory that Kenny and all the other guys kind of was like, you know what? If we all do this, we're not going to get in as much trouble. And I think once Aaron kind of like got the ball rolling with that, they all saw Aaron like doing it, and he was in the strongest couple before they went to Casa. All the other guys were like, you know what? If he can do it, we can do it. And from there on, Casa was just kind of like boys trip, and like we're gonna pull a big one on the girls, and it's all gonna be hot fun and games. We're gonna get our woman back. No, the girls weren't feeling it that way. The girls didn't see it that way. They declined every single one of those boys that came in there for them. yet their men couldn't do it for them. Scratch my head. But I do think that Kenny was kind of just doing it to do it. It seems like someone almost forced him to do it. It didn't seem like he genuinely wanted what's her face to be there. So that's all I gotta say about that one. So yes, Jenny. That's a cute name. That's a cute couple name. But Kenny and JaNa, we're going to put Jenny at the best to ever do it. Okay, y'all. So speaking of JaNa, we're going to go on to JaNa and Hakeem. Now, this one is going to go in Spare Me because honestly, I don't really remember much about their pairing. I didn't think that they had any crazy sparks flying. If I'm remembering correctly, I think Hakeem kind of just chose JaNa in order to kind of save her, like didn't really want to be with her but was like, okay, let's just stay like a friendship couple until I meet someone else. So we're gonna put them into the Spare Me category. Liv and Miguel. Okay, Liv and Miguel. We're just going to go ahead and put Liv and Miguel also in the Spare Me category. So the reason why I can be spared of Liv and Miguel as a coupling is just because I never really saw them being a couple. In fact, I was so thrown for a loop whenever Miguel picked her as a couple when he came in, because he was giving a lot of his attention to the other girls. The other girls really wanted him, and it was kind of giving that he was just going to give the energy to the person who wasn't really wanting him, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna pick the girl that really wasn't giving me a time of day so I can win her over. And Miguel gives me that energy. Honestly, he gives me really big player vibes. Honestly, any coupling that Miguel is in, I fear for the other girl in the relationship, because like he just gives major red flag vibes, and I don't understand why. Like other people, like looking at people's like commentary and like the comments on TikTok and all over social media, like people seem to actually like Miguel. And it's not that I don't like him as a person, but in a relationship, there was a lot of things that he said over the course of the show that it was just not it. Like it doesn't give that he's ready to be in a relationship, like settle down. And there was a couple things that he said, we're gonna get to it later, that I honestly didn't appreciate, and I thought was very like he would microaggression-y. I don't know. It was weird.
Is that what you are looking for? Is that how you want your wife to behave when she...
Okay, y'all, so let me explain further why I can't stand this comment, because Serena had every right to react the way that she did, to tell Kordell that this behavior is not acceptable, and then all the boys are like freaking out, talking about how she doesn't need to be reacting this way, like her behavior wasn't warranted, almost painting her out to be the angry black woman. And I'm not here for it, because she was definitely within her rights to have that reaction, and Kordell understood it completely, was like, you know what, she's right. And yet all these men were talking down, like, is that how you want your wife to behave? Oh my gosh, is this how she's always gonna act? It was insane the way that they were painting the narrative, like she was some unhinged person. And Miguel using the word behave specifically, like there was so many words you could have used there, and you decided to use behave like she's a dog. Crazy. Gives me the biggest ick. So we're gonna put Liv and Miguel in the Spare Me category. Okay, so while we're on the topic of Miguel, the next couple we're gonna be ranking is Leah and Miguel. So I went ahead and I put Leah and Miguel in the couples therapy category. And here's why. So I just said that Leah and Miguel aren't really, anyone who's with Miguel is not going to really be like happy long term. That's just what my opinion is. I don't think he's ready to settle down yet, just based on what I've seen. And by the way, y'all, I don't condone any like negative like talk, like just like mean comments about the people on these shows, because they're humans just like we are. They signed up to go on a reality TV show and got famous and had all this attention overnight, and they don't really like, they're still learning how to handle all of this like hate and backlash. Like people actually going to these people's comments on their Instagram, DMing them like mean hateful messages is is insane. It's always insane to me when people, like, random people feel the need to, like, go to the person's account and, like, harass them over, like, a show. Like, everyone makes mistakes. It's just not everybody's mistakes are recorded for billions of people to watch. And I don't really necessarily think it's fair for us to judge on someone else's, like, life. Like me right now, commenting on what I watched during the course of the show and having my opinion, nothing wrong with that, and sharing my opinion. But sharing it to that person, literally commenting hateful, nasty, mean messages to them, what is that doing? That's doing nothing but spreading hate, and you're worse than them at that point. So anyways, no hate on Miguel, but based off of what I've observed, I don't think he's really the best for a relationship right now. So I think that they're cute, but I'm sorry, y'all can never make me trust Miguel. Like, never. And he just gives really big player energy, like I said before. I'm wishing them well, but I don't think it'll last, and I hope he proves me wrong, because if you guys don't know, they are currently dating. Like, the show is over and they are still dating in the real world, but I'm not expecting for it to, have a big downslide, but it's Miguel. So yeah, I think even Kane, one of the other boys on the island who was there for like 2 seconds, but anyways, he was saying how Miguel didn't really like Leah and he couldn't see it happening past the show, and I completely agree with that. So the next couple that we're going to talk about is Catherine and Kenny. So I'm not going to lie, y'all, I completely forgot what this girl's name was. Just like that one tweet said, I'm going to insert it right here.
Not Catherine trying to last minute get into the villa by talking to Kenny. I didn't even remember her until they showed the last clip of them.
I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it's somewhat true.
Just like that one tweet, literally, I completely forgot what her name was, and I completely agree with the tweet. I'm not gonna lie. Like the tweet was suggesting, it seemed like she clearly weaseled her way in last second to make it to the villa. And see, I understand that that's the point of bombshells, guys. I understand they're supposed to find someone that's there for them that they like, and then make it into the villa and ultimately form a connection with these people. I completely understand that's the point of bombshells coming in. However, what I think is kind of silly, a little bit embarrassing, is when it's so clear that there's no one there for you, you're not really forming a connection with someone, but you do everything that you can to get into the villa, and it just doesn't come on the right way. It seems like you're not really genuine. I feel like everyone can read straight through it. We literally didn't see any scenes of them at all until the last second, just like the tweet said, and Catherine's like there. Like, first of all, of course I was mad at Kenny, like, what are you doing? But like I said earlier, I think he had to have been coerced into that. Whether production did it, whether the boys were up his ears, probably Kendall, I don't know, but it happened. He did what he did, but at least he owned it and they made up and everything. But this couple was just diabolical. So we're going to put that into the diabolical, because Miss Catherine, ma'am, you know that you just got with him so you can get yourself into the villa. So, all right. Speaking of another diabolically disturbing couple, we're going to put Daniella and Rob. Daniella and Rob were they were moving so crazy. Okay, this is another couple, like another couple has to do with this that we're going to speak on next. But the way that Daniella hopped over to Rob after being all over Aaron the entire time they were in Casa, the way that Daniella and Aaron was like the exact same way that Aaron and Kaylor were, who were genuinely considering being boyfriend and girlfriend outside of the villa, talking about things, talking about life. He was the exact same way with her, guys. And Casa was only 3 days. And he did the exact same thing. Okay, wait, hold on. I can't get ahead of myself. We're going to talk on them later, Aaron and Kaylor and that whole situation. But the fact that Rob is Aaron's best friend and decided that he was going to take Daniella back to the villa with him. Like, come on, y'all. I see right through it. I see right through it. I think Aaron convinced Rob to take Daniella for him so he could have her as a second, like a backup, just in case Kaylor and him didn't work out. I firmly stand on that, guys, because any other explanation just doesn't make any sense. Because to me, my read on Rob is just, it's literally weird, okay? Rob was clearly never really into the poor girl. And he definitely would be the type to just come back to the villa single. Come on. We saw Rob on the show. We saw how he moved. We saw his character, his demeanor, how he thought he was too cool at times. There's no way he wouldn't have just come back to the villa single and would have just waited for someone else to come in. But Aaron had to have convinced him to take Daniella back for him because it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. So, of course, we're going to put Rob and Daniella in the diabolical category. All right, y'all. So, next on the list, we're going to put Kendall and Nicole in the spare me category. So, I know this might be a little bit controversial, but I feel like Kendall and Nicole need to be in the spare me category, and this is why. They just never seem to actually like each other. Like, let me rephrase that. Nicole seemed to not ever really actually like Kendall, and then Kendall seemed to be playing the game. Like, I know a lot of people said that Nicole was playing the game to win the money, but it really seemed like Kendall was there for those reasons, and it's because Kendall was so extremely messy on all the other couples. He saw how all those boys were thriving in their relationships, and he saw them crack up for weakness, ask them for advice, and at any given chance, Kendall was right there to talk his talk and talk his mess on the girls to mess up their relationships.
Kate with Serena because she's close-walling you. She's not even letting you have a chance. And if she's not going to allow you to do that, bro, like the message is clear at this point, man. Is this how she's going to react every single time? Is that what you are looking for? Is that how you want your wife to behave when shit hits the fan? There comes a certain point where you got to be like, as a man, stand on fucking business and say, you know what, Serena? Like, if you're going to act like this, okay, I'll let you be. Because I got... The way Serena's handled this conflict is insane. She's just in an emotional state. She is fiery as hell, but this is what you get with the fire sometimes. The disrespect was wild.
I think Kendall was doing that to sabotage all the other guys' relationships so him and Nicole would win. That's my theory, because Kendall wasn't giving authentic. Something about him always read kind of off to me. Like, I don't know, y'all. If you know, you know. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. All right, so we're going to put Kendall and Nicole in the spare me category. I don't think these guys should have ever been a couple, and I'm surprised that they even lasted that long. So next on the list, we're going to talk about Leah and Connor. So at first I had Leah and Connor in the spare me category, but I think I'm going to move them to the diabolical category. And this is because Leah never liked that man. She never liked Connor. I think she just kind of was over the whole Rob situation because she was done dirty by Rob when he hopped over to Andrea. And then Leah was like, you know what? Connor's kind of cute. Let me talk to him. Even though Connor was talking to JaNa at the time, and JaNa is Leah's best friend, so that was kind of messy. But, you know, you do you, girl. It wasn't too bad. And then literally whole time she was kind of just doing for the chase. And then once she got him locked in, she was like, this man, I can't stand this man. I don't like him. He needs to leave.
Why?
Go ahead, tell the bitch. I don't like him anymore.
And the whole time they were in a coupling, she was going around the whole villa telling everyone how she did not like this man and she didn't like him. And he just was clueless about the whole situation. And it was kind of making him look a little bit foolish. I'm not going to lie. Leah kind of did him dirty. So that coupling is going to go in the diabolical category. Okay, so we haven't added anyone in this category yet. So the first couple to go into the Romeo and Juliet category is, of course, none other than Rob and Leah. Alright guys, so I'm just going to read you guys straight up what I have in my notes for Rob and Leah and why they deserve to be in the Romeo and Juliet category. So, just hear me out, okay? Leah and Rob are soulmates. It's giving right person, wrong time. And here's why. So, they have very similar and distinct interests. Insert these clips.
I don't think I can be with a man if they don't like animals. I think I'm ready to go feral.
I'm back. I catch snakes for a living. When you look at a girl, she looks a little scary, like, oh.
Both kind of laid back, but Leah gives contrast to Rob when she gets fiery. They clearly care about each other throughout the whole summer. They were both physically attracted to each other, and off the jump, Rob couldn't leave the villa until Leah knew his feelings. They were sneaking glances at each other.
I think he still has the hots for me. I see him looking sometimes, so just had to let him know I think he might still have the hots for me.
She was trying to talk herself out of liking him, but even being in the villa, like I saw the way she was always looking at him. When I was with him, I watched eyes. I saw little things, so I was like, okay, she's staring. Whenever like she would laugh or say something, she's always looking for his eyes. So
they just needed other people to stay out of their way. So what I mean by that, a lot of the Rob and Leah drama happened from third-party onlookers that had so much to say about Leah. For some reason, Rob took the bait so easily though. And by third-party onlookers, I really mean Liv. Because Liv stirred up that whole thing multiple times, and Leah was trying to defend herself, and Rob was not hearing her out. In fact, all of the guys just formed this opinion on Leah based off of what Liv was spreading around the Liv and Kaylor. I'm not gonna remove Kaylor from the situation because she was there backing her girl Liv all the way down when they were both wrong. They were so wrong for that, but I'm so glad that Liv eventually apologized for that situation. And honestly, Liv was really good at apologizing for things when she did things wrong. And that's why, even though Liv kind of was doing my girl Leah a little bit dirty at times, Liv was just, she's a great person in general. She's definitely a girl's girl. She's always going to go back for the girls. And honestly, it was really empowering to watch her because she was always standing up for the girls and it was giving girl power. Like, I've never seen so much strong girl power energy since the Spice Girls. I was watching the little edits on YouTube. Like, there's so many of them of Rob and Leah. Like, there's this one YouTuber, I forget what their name is, but they literally have made like every single week they made like a clip of Rob and Leah and like their moments of that week, and I thought it was so cute. Okay, so the next couple we're going to put in the Romeo and Juliet category is Andrea and Rob. So it's kind of crazy putting Rob in this category twice but with another girl. I know it's kind of crazy, but just hear what I have to say about it. So this is what I put. I believe that Rob was good with Andrea and would have lasted the whole show without her abrupt exit. I think Andrea would run in front of a train for Rob, and Rob seemed to be physically attracted to Andrea and believed she was a nice girl. But I do think that if they made it to sea out of the villa, Rob would have seen her true intentions. And when I be in mind her true intentions, guys, it seemed like Andrea was really just there to get all the benefits of being on the show. And I don't necessarily fault her for that. You know, do what you have to do. Clearly she wants to have an influencer lifestyle. She was already sort of an influencer. I think she just wanted to grow her platform and use this as an opportunity. And I'm not necessarily faulting her for that, but to say that you're on the show to find love and like this and that, it's kind of leading people on. You have other intentions of why you're there, and I just think that if that's the case, you need to be honest. At least be honest with the people like that you're talking to in the villa. And she was clearly like showing that side to the girls, but was never showing that side to Rob, and that's kind of problematic. But she also just seemed to be extremely full of herself, thought she was so much better than Leah. So of course I'm going to put Andrea and Rob into the Romeo and Juliet category because I do think that they could have lasted a long time inside the villa. Keywords: inside the villa. So I know you guys Can't wait to hear about this coupling. Aaron and Kaylor, y'all. We're finally talking about them. Aaron and Kaylor. I think you all know what category I'm going to put them into. Well, maybe not. Y'all might think I'm going to put them into the diabolical category, but honestly, no. They need couples therapy. They need help, okay? Aaron is immature, and that's their downfall. So I don't know if Aaron just solo needs therapy, but someone needs therapy. Aaron could never take accountability for his actions, and it was so embarrassing to watch, y'all. Like, as the viewer, I was getting secondhand embarrassment by how many times he was like blatantly just lying. Kaylor's downfall is that she trusted Aaron way too quickly, and she was just being really naive in the situation. Aaron was love bombing her and having so many different manipulative tactics. He knew exactly what to say to Kaylor in order for her to come crawling back every single time. He never wanted to continue to speak about his wrongdoings. That's not how it works. We can choose to forgive, but not to forget, okay? And I want to stress that, y'all. Just because you choose to forgive someone doesn't mean that you forgot about everything that they did. You need to remember that, because if you don't remember, history is going to repeat itself. And we can't just keep forgiving and forgiving and forgiving people when they do the same things over and over again. If someone shows you who they are once, they're going to show you who they are for the rest of time. And I truly believe that. Unless they take accountability for their actions and move on and make sure that they're making up for what they did, then they didn't learn anything, and they're just going to keep doing that again. Not to mention that Aaron got extremely heated whenever Kaylor and Hakeem kissed. But then he did all of that over there in Casa with Daniella, and just expected for Kaylor to get over with and move on with life, and for him to just apologize once and just never talk about it again, completely forget about it. Even when his lies just kept getting outed and outed every single time, she had to keep being stuck on a situation because he wasn't truthful up front. He's just way too friendly with girls, period. And I definitely agree. I don't remember who said it on the show, but someone was talking about how being friendly is not a personality. That's not a personality trait. Oh, I have a flirtatious personality. No, you can control that. You choose to be flirtatious. So I hate whenever people say that, like, I'm just a flirty person. No, you're not. You can pick and choose when you choose to bring that side out of you. And if you're on the show Love Island and you choose to kind of like almost stay with the couple the whole show, and almost like tell them about your feelings, say that you're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend, you're talking about how you're planning out of the villa. You have to respect the other person's feelings that you're in a couple with. You can't just sit there and go flirt with other girls the entire show. It's very disrespectful, and extremely disrespectful when not only is it flirtatiousness, but it's literal kissing, making out, and other physical thing. Not to mention, Aaron was so weird for just always being up Rob's booty. Like, I honestly don't understand what was going on with them. Like, specifically Aaron, the way that he would always get super over emotional about Rob and dramatic, like anytime Rob was in a situation, but then never had that sort of reaction for Kaylor. It was very strange. I've never seen anything like it on this show. Or any other dating show, to be frank, because you're there for love, you're not there for friends. And even though it's nice to have friends, the friends can have your back and this and that, they don't have such a visceral reaction for their friend on the show, and like almost always prioritize their friend. And from Aaron, it was just weird because we would always see him not seeming to really care for Kaylor's emotions, but then always doing the most for Rob's feelings. So yes, we're going to put them into couples therapy, just because I did think, like, despite me saying all of that, I did think that in the beginning of the show, Aaron and Kaylor had a very cute relationship. Like I said, they were talking about all their plans that they were going to have outside of the villa and whatnot, and it just never really, unfortunately, we never got to see any of that because Aaron just messed it up, and he unfortunately didn't take accountability, unlike the next couple that I'm about to talk about. So the next couple that we're going to talk about, and the only couple that I need to talk about, really, if we're being honest, Serena and Kordell. So clearly I'm putting Serena and Kordell into the best to ever do it, right up there with Kenny and JaNa. Serena was truly just a slow burner, okay? Although I thought she may have been stringing him along in the beginning, she really proved by the test of time that she really did like Kordell. And here's a hot take. If Kordell didn't come back with Homegirl, Serena would have never realized how strong her feelings were for Kordell. And I think same with Kordell. He would have never realized how much he truly did like Serena. I think that everybody saw how much he liked from Serena from the beginning of the show. He clearly really was into that girl. But something was kind of off about their coupling. Like their chemistry wasn't there. And I think with that whole situation, like, look, he really did move very disrespectfully. Like, Serena had to sit there and watch that video of him like doing stuff with old girl. But here's the thing, I do think that had that never happened, they wouldn't have came back as strong as they did.
Wanted to explore.
And you did. It didn't take me a week to explore with a guy to know it was always you. It didn't.
Serena.
They really got to see how much the other person cared for them. So, and I think that's why they lasted to the end. The public saw that. The public saw that they got through something like that, and they were able to apologize, both of them, take accountability, especially Kordell. And that's what Aaron and Kaylor didn't do. In fact, Aaron and Kaylor had a stronger relationship at the beginning of the show than Serena and Kordell. But because Aaron and Kaylor just went to crap because Aaron didn't want to own up and take accountability for anything, that's why they didn't win the show. In fact, they got voted off and didn't even make it into the final 4 couplings. Whereas Serena and Kordell literally took the whole show because Kordell knew how to take accountability. He knew how to be a man. And dude was literally 21 years old on the show. Like, come on. He's only a year older than me. I'm 20, y'all. 20-year-olds, like, early 20s, we're still figuring out. We're in college. Like, having a love life, it takes something else to be very mature in a relationship at this age, because so many people at this age just kind of want to be reckless and explore, do people wrong, and it takes them years to finally get to knowing what it takes to be in a good relationship, and not everybody has that capacity. So hats off to Kordell for owning up to what he did and really proving to Serena that he wanted her and her alone. Watching these two was so entertaining because it was literally like a black struggle love story, like a really good Tyler Perry movie. That dock scene, y'all, I was literally on the floor. Like, when I say I was fully invested at the edge of my seat, like, oh my gosh, like, and by the way, can we talk about how good Serena looked just pacing up and down that dock, y'all? I wish I looked so good when I was mad, stomping away.
It is. Have some fucking respect because I told you what the fuck.
Serena, stop.
Don't fucking touch me because I still don't want to fucking talk to your ass because it is what it is.
Like, y'all, she just looked too cute in that blue dress. That was a whole movie, y'all. Okay, y'all, so these are all the couples that I'm going to rank for today. If you guys want a part 2 to this video, I will record it, but unfortunately my iPad is at 2%. I've been filming for almost an hour, and I have a baby to tend to, y'all. So I think I'm just going to edit this part, and if you guys want a part 2 to this video, maybe I'll do like a short, like a really quick, like, short to it, or I can do a long form video, depending on how well this does. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I don't know if I had a lot of like hot takes or like if this is what most people thought about the show, but I really had fun watching this show, and I'm so glad that Love Island USA was able to do so well this year, because normally the UK version stomps on the US version, and I'm glad that we put ourselves on the map, because everything about this year's election and how the country's looking right now, we're kind of making a fool of ourselves to the rest of the world. But hey, at least Love Island's on top, so that's all I got to say. Bye.
Now when they see us in the streets, all they wanna do is take pics, and I'm